Welcome to Face the Facts. This is a special episode here. I am Nick Face, and we are joined here by a trio of members of the Reading football team. I apologize for our wonderful viewers at home who live in North Reading. This is some of our Reading football kids. They have always been a successful program. So tonight, joining me here to my left is John Maroney. Thanks for joining us, John.
No problem, Nick. Glad to be here.
Will Murray.
How's it going?
And Joe Papalardo.
Excited to be here, Nick.
One of the things that is difficult sometimes to prepare for is sometimes the start of football. Sometimes it could be a draining experience that last week before, but I'm sure you guys are excited. You still have a week to go before you really start. Why don't we kick it off with Joe? How do you prepare for something like that?
It's
What goes through your mind?
it is kind of a mental challenge. You got a lot of things you got to think about. Mentally, you got to prepare for the tasks ahead of you, and kind of just got to take it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Still stay in the weight room, keep your body conditioned.
Yep.
Kind of really get ready to attack the season full head on.
What do you do?
He's right. Just you gotta stay in shape. Can't let that go before the season. You're working as hard as you've been all summer, up right until that first week.
Mr. John?
Being one with your teammates is huge. Getting to the first day practice and being a team fully is huge. Knowing all the kids on the team throughout each grade, seniors, juniors, and sophomores.
You at that stage yet where you're like, let's get out of the weight room, let's get out on the field, let's put it all together and see what it's going to be like this season?
I think we're all at that
Yeah.
point, just ready to put the pads on.
Yep.
Start hitting people.
We just went through a camp where it was helmets only, and just experiencing that without the whole pad aspect to it is just it makes you want to throw them on and hit something.
How was participation from that? Most of the team coming out?
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
good turnout
Good.
for that.
That's
And
a good thing to see early on.
And the 7-on-7 tournament, we had a great turnout for that too. We had a lot of skilled guys. That's another event that makes you really want to throw on the pads.
Well, it's been kind of a storybook, magical kind of 4 years for the Reading football program. Whether it's been going to a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, maybe getting really close to being there, and unfortunately going home at some point. Where is the goal set this year? What's the mindset? Why don't we start with you?
Same goal as always, to get
Same.
to the Super Bowl. I
Okay.
mean, if we get anywhere lower than that, we failed
So
ourselves.
nothing changes with that. Every year, that's the expectation that all the kids, players, everybody buys into that.
That's what you play for.
To win that Middlesex League title and then
Right.
keep trucking on to the Super Bowl.
And each of you do have a ring, I would assume, from already when you were sophomores, I would assume.
Yes.
So you're
Yep.
craving that second one.
Yeah.
How badly do you want it?
So bad, because with the first one, we only played so much of a role as sophomores,
Right.
with those senior group being such very numerous. So we want to be the senior group that takes those younger kids to the Super Bowl
That's a
this
great
year.
statement. Same with
You
you.
definitely feel it more as your senior year. You want it so bad.
I mean, yeah, it's stuff you kind of like dream about all the time. You always think about how it feels to win your ring. I think it'd just be great from a senior's perspective.
Before a couple years ago, when they won the, 2012
Yes.
was the season that happened. Had you won something that big before in your life?
No. I mean,
No.
I won the World Series in Babe Ruth. and
That's
that was-
big. Come on.
Closest thing ever.
Passed it
And
on.
that compared not nearly to the Super Bowl.
How about you?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing?
Not even
No.
close.
Not a winner? No.
No way.
Okay, I remember when I was, actually my brother we were in Little League, and we won the World Series from that. And just seeing the trophy with the name going on, it's really an awesome experience. Even after we just lost, when I was coaching this summer, we had lost on Sunday. We got all the way, like I said, but there's some good things that you can take away from that, even though you do lose. But obviously, at the end of the day, you want that trophy, and it's kind of stinks to have to go home without getting it when you work so hard. Where is the league at right now? I know it could be all over the place, but is there any team? Maybe you guys are expected to win it all. Let's say I'm a nobody, and I have no idea where I can expect Reading football to stand.
See,
What's the expectation?
we don't know much about the other teams
Okay.
until we see them actually play and start
Yep.
the season. You never know. I mean, Woburn traditionally is always good, always gives us a tough battle.
Yep.
Arlington last year gave us our first loss.
There's
of
been a
the
lot of
season.
chirping I've been hearing about
Yes,
Arlington,
and-
and I think it's a question mark. It could be anybody's season at any point. You never know.
I've been hearing a lot about Winchester
Yep.
because their coach, it's their 4th year here.
Yep.
So this is his grade that he started with. A lot of them have been starting as freshmen,
Yep,
sophomores.
I've heard the same.
so
Yep.
It's going to be a tough team.
Go ahead.
The league's always strong. Lexington's got a couple of strong players coming back, and we always expect the league to be strong, and we expect to be right in the mix.
Here's a good question I was just thinking about. And I was just thinking about places to play when you're in the Middlesex League. A lot of teams' fields have really been updated the past couple years. Obviously, you want to play at home every single game that you want. Are there any other fields out there that could really be a good place to play that you feel comfortable playing? John?
I mean, I think it's a good change of pace when we play at Lexington.
Okay.
Because it's grass field. We normally
Yep.
don't get exposed to grass field.
It's one of the only ones that's really grass now,
Yeah,
isn't
still,
it?
it's one of the few.
Yep. Will?
It's different to play in Winchester because of they don't have the light, so it's always a day game there, which
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that, but.
So you go for the nights?
I'd much rather play on
for the
Friday
lights,
night,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, nights are lights.
Yeah.
Friday night lights, nothing better, I would say.
I'd have to agree with Will. It's the Saturday morning games that kind of are a little different feel for you. You got to get used to those.
What about Wakefield? Did they get a new field this year?
They did, but unfortunately, we don't play them
Oh,
anymore.
Oh, that's right. Because it's a whole. In case some of you don't know this, and it's important that they do understand that the Middlesex League has turned into it's a Liberty and Patriot divisions. Is that correct? And Reading is a part of the big division, and the big division also consists of
Belmont, Lexington, Winchester.
and Woburn smaller, right?
Yeah, Woburn is in the small.
Woburn would be a part of Liberty, or whatever you
Yeah,
call
I
it.
think
The
that's-
I
small.
believe so.
Basically, in simple terms, it's big versus small. It's based on the amount of enrollment per school.
Yeah.
If I'm making a right statement on that. So some games are what non-league games would you have?
Yes.
And then some you have are the league games, which are the most important. Now, for non-league games, is there any games that you guys have in your schedule that maybe can serve as maybe a team that you might play if you really make it far in the playoffs? I don't know where you're looking at from that.
Right out of the gate, we got two big games. We have Masco, and then we have BC High scheduled, which,
Okay. Oh, that's a new one this year.
yeah, we're ready for BC High to bring a lot of talent, and
Okay.
I think, that's a big game for us. That's a good stepping stone for our team if we can beat them up.
Any other games that stand out?
That BC High is my big game.
Okay.
That's all I really think about. I can't wait for that game.
Okay.
We do have to get past Masco. I mean,
Yeah.
Masco is our week
It's usually
one,
been
and-
always a state that
Yeah.
they've usually always been a part of the schedule in some form.
Yeah, usually we scrimmage
Yeah.
them. This year's the first time we've actually played them in a real game.
Okay.
So we finally get to see who would actually win.
Yeah.
And so they've always been tough against us in the
Oh, it'll be a good
scrimmages.
test. It will be a real good
Absolutely,
test. I
yeah.
mean, going able to play somebody that you're kind of familiar with, but putting it all on the line, that can be really huge for your season too. We didn't also discuss something at the beginning that I wish we did. Positions that you play. What are you playing? Bench? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only
That
kidding.
hurts.
It's true.
This year I'm switching to right guard. I played tackle my whole life,
Yep.
but I'm on the offensive line.
Is that big? Is that an adjustment?
You see, it's different concepts in a lineman's head when you switch from right tackle to right guard. It's different. You have to remember more things as a guard, I think. And it's more action because you get to pull more, get to hit more people,
Yep.
get up to the second
Did I
level.
ever tell you the joke why I moved from left guard to right guard?
No.
I didn't want to be left out anymore. So no, I was a left guard when I was in football. I liked the position set. It was fun to be able to be there. But actually, from football, this is what I ended up doing, in case you didn't know. I did stop playing football after my sophomore year because I wanted to get into broadcasting and stuff. So that's when Face to Facts was built. How about that? Little history lesson.
There you go.
Where are you playing this year?
I'll be a receiver, and I might be taking some safety reps too.
Okay. Looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is that something that you've done before?
Yeah,
Okay, both.
positions.
Okay.
Definitely.
And
You'll see me alongside Will at receiver,
Okay.
and maybe getting out there a little bit at corner, helping
Okay.
defense out.
now, when you came up as a sophomore, you did come up as a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
What was it like to be able to change a position from that? Was it difficult?
Being able to be a quarterback my sophomore year gave me a little bit of an advantage to
Okay.
know the offense a lot better. So, from that standpoint, it wasn't that hard of a transition. But then to get familiar with the position was a little bit tough. So,
Now the question that I'm sure everyone's going to ask, and you know exactly what I'm going to say. What's it going to be like without Belcher this year as a quarterback?
You know, Corey's shown a lot of potential.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned
yes,
his name first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Corey has shown a lot of potential,
Okay.
whether it's his arm strength, his decision making. I know these guys can speak more about it because they've been playing with him all summer.
Do you look good so far?
But yeah, he looks real good.
Good.
Can put the ball where he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot more fluid than he was in the beginning of the year. He's come a long way, so, you know, all his receivers are actually really excited.
And he's a sophomore too, so that's kind of the building block of when you're going to be established or build your establishment as a leading quarterback. You think he has what it takes?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. You could tell because he's been going to that spread 'em and shred 'em camp.
Yeah. Does that
for
really
years.
help going to that?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he definitely shows the leadership
So you're looking
that's
forward to
required
that?
to. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good thing to hear because I'm sure the community and everyone's, oh well, they lost Belcher and they lost this and that and. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's a good statement, and it's really positive to be able to hear something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of negative people that can be out there that kind of just say, you know what, oh, they're done, they lost this player. But the most important thing when you're on a team is to be able to fight through the criticism or the negativity somebody might have and just thrive from it. Is that something that you guys are going to try your best to do as best you can with as well?
It gives us that underdog tag now.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Is that how you guys feel in a way? That underdog
I mean,
as the season before the season begins?
somewhat,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you'd see a lot of people count us out because, you know, we're missing big names like Drew Belcher and Liam Keneally, but,
Sure.
you know, we're definitely going to go out there and play with the chip on our shoulder and make sure that, you know, people know who we are and that we're still here to play and play you tough.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a awesome statement to say. Now, we already know Masco leads off. Who's your first league game?
I believe our first league game is going to be Arlington. So, we're
Well,
looking to
kicking
get
it
that
off
one
really
back.
with a big test right there. Are we home or away?
Away, actually, I think,
Yeah.
because we
Away
played
then.
them home this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we switch off.
Well, like we said from before, it's all about what they're going to be like. You don't know your opponent until you play them. Are there any other surprises that we're looking forward or anything that's going to be maybe a big statement for the team? Is there anything like behind, maybe not like behind the scenes, but anything that you guys feel really confident with that maybe people don't know about?
I'm going to say our O-line.
Okay.
Like, we lost, like, 3 big O-line players last year, but this year our whole team's just been going at it in the weight room, getting real big.
Yep.
So I think our O-line's going to be a big push for our team.
And I'd have to say the receivers because, you know, last year they
I like
had,
that give and take.
you know,
Yeah.
but they had a little inexperience. All of them were in almost their first year at the position at the varsity level, and this year they seem to really step it up. The leadership from the seniors and the ability for the younger kids to step up in the big places has been really shocking to me from the sidelines at least.
Joe.
I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with a lot of the young guys coming up. You know, they've
Okay.
been really working hard, and I think, you know, a few of them have actually really stepped up and surprised a lot of us older guys in the way they're playing. They're playing hard.
I have a great question for each of you, and could be a simple question, could be a long question, depends on your answer. What's it mean to be a Reading football player?
Pride, 100%.
One word, I like it.
Yep.
Pride.
It's everything. I'm with him. It's all pride. It's just, like, when people ask me what I do, first thing, I play Reading football. That's what I love to say.
Yeah, it's just pride, you know. It's the whole town looks up to you, you know. We go to the Saturday Night League thing, the flag football, all those little kids. All they want to do is ask us what we do all the time. And it's just something that a lot of us are all really proud to.
I'm glad you brought up Saturday Night Lights and other youth programs that are for the kids. When I broadcast the games, with my involvement with the after-school things that I do for the kids, you can see the group. I'm sure some of you have looked up and can be able to see the kids that either look out in the field and just want to be out there too and be like you guys. Then you also have other kids that are up the top who want to be able to talk to other people. It's just something that they look up to. Could be whether it's cool, could be whether it's something positive that you do, but the moral of the story is these kids do look up to us. And that's something that I hope each person, no matter if it's football, baseball, hockey, they understand. because you set a statement when you're out there, not just to the kids, but to the community. So Saturday Night Lights, again, is a flag football type program. No contact, just basic. Get out there, have fun under the lights with a great game format. And again, being with a team, facing off against your best friend, facing off against maybe a kid that could be your rival in school. It's a great positive thing that I'm glad you guys are involved with.
It's a great program to get the kids out there playing on Saturday night, get them all together. I mean, there's so many kids there, so they meet friends.
Yep.
They get exposed to the game if they haven't been previously. And the no contact thing is huge because that might be, it allows them to develop the skills needed to play with the contact.
It does. And especially when they're this young, it's very important to do something like that because of all the contacts, injuries that we've been hearing about. Concussions is such a huge problem now, even at youth sports. So to be able to do something that's non-hitting and violence and stuff like that, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit more about how you guys relate to maybe some NFL players that there are out there. Joe, do you have an NFL player that you look up to, that you want to emulate? You want that he is your hero. He's this. You want to be like him. Who is it?
Well,
Or maybe not. I don't know.
No, definitely one guy that comes to mind all the time, and it's the reason why I wear my number. But I take a lot of heat for liking him, and it's Tim Tebow. I just like the way he plays the game. He just plays it hard and with heart. That's how you're
I
supposed
see
to do
you
it.
guys laughing. There's nothing wrong with Tebow. I mean, yeah, he's not making it as an NFL person, but probably from his mentality.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why that you relate well to him.
I gotta go with Wes Welker. I just love the way he plays. I'm same position.
Even as a Bronco.
Even as Bronco, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, definitely disappointing when he left, but
Yep.
I just love the way that guy plays.
Why?
How tough he is. He takes so many hits, just gets right back up. Like you don't realize how big of a leader that makes him.
What do you think of Julian Edelman?
I love Edelman too.
Do you think he's a younger maybe type of Welker?
Yeah, definitely. He's so versatile too.
Okay.
Like he can do it all.
He's got something to prove too.
Yeah,
I
he
would
does,
say
he does.
definitely.
He proved last year over 100 catches.
That's right. Who are you looking up to?
I always looked up to Drew Brees. Obviously, he's not a lineman, so it's not my same position.
Where did that come from, Drew Brees?
I've liked his mentality, the way he finds a way to win, even when it's in the fourth quarter, back down, and how he overcomes his height, and that's a huge thing. Like height, I mean, I'm not short, but height is in a quarterback in the NFL is like a staple.
It is,
and he overcomes that with only being 5'11", and just seeing how well he plays the game with that shortcoming is just it's.
So Brees has higher than Brady on your list, huh? I'm very surprised nobody
course.
said Tom Brady. I'm very surprised. He doesn't.
We all know he's got a special place.
Yeah, he's got a special place.
Oh, I was gonna say. I mean, if I was a football guy and everything, I would think, especially being in this area, New England and stuff, that there's nobody better than to look up to the Brady.
100%. I mean, Drew Brees doesn't go above Tom Brady, but I thought we were talking about people we look up to.
That's fine. No, absolutely. I'm glad that you guys said something different because everyone's the prototypical baseball: Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz. Whether it's Bruins, it's Tuukka Rask or Chara or Bergeron. It's nice to see different names out there. And plus the fact, like when we were talking about the kids, it shows the kids that there are different athletes to root for. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I get sick and tired of, David Ortiz this or Tom Brady this and that. Throw a curveball at somebody and say somebody else that you may root for secretly and nobody knows about. So that's important too. When we talked originally about the football season, when we were going about goals of Super Bowl and getting to a certain point, what's reasonable expectations too sometimes? Are there any other individual goals that you might also want to set for yourself? It might be team goals, but individually, do you have something set in your mind that you want to achieve?
I think, for like self
And
goals.
an unselfish kind of way too.
Yeah. I think like a major self goal is always, to make sure that like throughout the whole season you're giving everything you got. You don't want to leave anything out there, and leave anything to question. I think for me, it's always just to be the best guy on the field, to always try and be better than everybody else.
Yeah, you just gotta, like you said, you gotta go hard the whole year. You don't want to lose your spot for taking 1 week off, just kind of lackadaisical. You just gotta stay with that like passion for the
Right.
game the whole year.
Right.
I would say to be a role model to the younger kids
Okay.
who are just getting involved in the varsity program for the first year, like the sophomores, even some of the juniors. Just to be a leader, never put them down, make them want to play,
Yep.
give them motivation to
Is
want
it hard
to get
to,
better.
is it hard to be able to be a role model sometimes and show them the right way?
You know, when you get frustrated at yourself, because
Yep.
everyone messes up in football, it's
Yep.
it's hard.
You don't even have to stay in football. People mess up in life too.
True, that's very true, and it's just when you get frustrated at yourself, it's hard to then push the others to and motivate them when you're mad at yourself.
So the best way that you would think about going about this, try to be as positive as you can.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Haven't discussed this, and we must also discuss this too. Your coaches, the coaching staff. How special of a chance is it to be able to play with them? Are they special coaches? What would you say?
It's, sometimes you don't have words for it. It's kind of ridiculous how lucky we are in Reading, They all know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They have a great system in place. They've got a great philosophy, and I've learned so much within the 3 years that I've already played that, I'm excited to see what I learn this year.
Describe what it is sometimes when they push you too much. How are the emotions regarding something like that?
During, it's like, sometimes you want to kill them, but then
Yeah.
afterwards,
Yeah.
it's like
It's like your parents, right?
You gotta say
Yeah.
thank you. This is why
Yeah.
Reading is who Reading is.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they first push you to that over the top point, it's like, why are you doing this to me? But once you're in that game on Friday night and you're back to that same point and you realize that they pushed you over that top for a reason, you like Will said, you want to thank them personally, just because they prepare you for every situation and everything, not just in football, but kind of in life too.
What makes Reading such a football town now? Is it because of the winning? What is it?
Winning always helps. I think it's more so like towards the way the coaching staff and like the players actually carry themselves. We
Okay.
carry ourselves with a lot of pride. And we try and promote ourselves in like the most respectful way possible. I think people are starting to realize that we really care and we take pride in what we do for the town.
The reason why I asked this question is because I went through a transitional phase when Coach Cash Brzak, his legacy ended. Coach Fiore came in. I was from that very end part of that 2008 era when football was down in the dumps. It was hockey all the way. It was Super 8, feel-good story from hockey. It was baseball team being in the championship year in, year out. Still are. It was, what else was the big, soccer was up and coming. Track was doing their championships. Football kind of sank a little bit. So it's nice to be able to see it built back up into something that I would have to safely say here with no doubt about it, Reading's a football town again. That's something that not just you guys, but other players from 2009, 2010, 11, the years go on, can be very proud of themselves for reestablishing in town. And again, with coaches, like you guys said, players buying into the system. I don't know if you guys got a chance to think about it, but that's, to me, that shows just how important it was for everybody to get out there and give back something to the community. Same for you, Will.
Yeah, Theo always talks about the 2008 team, like he talks about how they became, like, they had a good year that year. In 2009, they come out, they win the Super Bowl. 2010, they make it back again. And just, like, ever since that team, like, it's like you're chasing the kids that are older than you. You want to be better than them. That's what, like, that's the motivation. You want to, like, do better than the team before you. And
Coaches and everything. What stands out in your mind? What makes them special?
It has to be their love of the game, but also for the love of their kids, their players,
Yep.
and how much how much passion they have on and off the field, how many hours they put in. They're all teachers, not only at Reading, but at other schools. And the fact that they put in those extra hours for us just to be a good football team, it gives you motivation to want to win for them, just out of pure respect.
Shifting gears for a second, kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Goals for entering senior year. That's exciting. There's nothing better than senior year. Maybe the first half can kind of stink because you get so much work and applications and this and that to do. But where's your mind at as a senior? It's almost here.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
It's got to focus on academics at all times.
Yep.
Always got to keep those up. Just getting ready to pick where I want to go to college. Not quite sure yet, but
Not sure yet.
that's the big step.
Nothing. You're not even going to spoil it.
No, I'm not going to give anything away.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first.
Everyone's excited for senior year, but I mean, for the first half of the year, it's still football and school. Like, you got to get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, once second semester comes around, I guess you can start having a little more fun.
Senioritis.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, right now I gotta stay focused.
It's just to make it as fun or more fun than your previous year. I mean, junior year, sophomore year, and even a little bit freshman year. Freshman year is all right, but the other years, they've just been a blast, both with just football, all the other sports, meet new kids, and looking forward to just progressing and making it my best year of school.
No, it's your time.
Yeah.
It's your time. Favorite football team?
Come on. That's a no-brainer.
Is it a no-brainer?
No-brainer.
Is there any others that you might
No-brainer.
like, or you said Drew Brees is your player?
I'm a
Do you
Saints
still root for the certain teams though too?
It's more out of fantasy football.
Yeah, I'm the same way with it.
I'm 100%
getting ready for it.
rooting
We should
for.
do a fantasy. We should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But fantasy football, whatever team my players are on, I'm rooting for them. Unless they're playing the Patriots, then they're
That
yeah,
hurts.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing, Will.
Yeah.
Patriots all the way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Patriots all the way. Is football your favorite sport to root for? Do you have other things that you?
Always.
It's always football.
Football's always been number
Okay.
one for me.
Will?
Easily, always.
All right, so when you played baseball last time, you really didn't want to play, okay? I get it. I get it. Don't break my heart. Go ahead.
100% football. Yes. It's the
Football.
only sport I watch the hometown team every single game.
But what makes football so, like, the number one sport to watch? I'm still asking myself that question. Why is football number one right now around here? Not even just a Reading thing. I'm just saying all around. Why is it football?
Well, playing it, you have a lot more of a respect for it when you watch it. Like, you understand that those guys go out there, like, week in, week out, and they put their bodies on the line, and they're fighting for one thing, that's to win a Super Bowl. And I think, from playing it, you just have a lot of respect for, like, what they do.
So you think, I'm going to use baseball as a classic example. There's 162 games a season for baseball. Is it too long?
Oh yeah.
Gets monotonous.
Are 9 innings too long?
Oh,
I'm from the same mentality. I love baseball. That's my thing. But it's a long season. Like right now, the Red Sox are not doing very well. They basically folded on the season. There's really nothing to root for right now.
Yeah.
It makes, for me, the summer very long and frustrating because you're getting to that point where football is almost here.
Yeah.
You can feel it, but it's just not there yet. So same thing. So baseball innings and too long of a season. I like that statement. Well, for
Joe
there
Popolaro.
you go.
Will Murray.
John Maroney.
I'm just the water boy, right? I'm Nick Face. We'll see you next time on another episode of Face to Facts. Make sure you check these guys out when their season starts in September at the Lights Down at Reading High School. We'll see you soon.